re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026?
yes.
All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator. Benny.
Okay.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
Like, ooh, we have the moral high ground.
Hi, welcome to Uninformed, everybody.
Bonjour.
What?
going on,
Okay,
Jamie?
there's my microphone. Hey, everybody.
Oh,
Welcome
hey.
to another episode of Uninformed. I'm here with my lovers today, minus Bree, because she's just too busy for us and doesn't care.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we have Shane and Jeff here with us tonight, and we are super, super excited. Jeff was actually invited tonight. He didn't
It
just
was
show
actually,
up.
but I have a cognitive recollection of inviting him.
I even went
Here
to
I
his
am.
chat this morning and said in the
Yeah.
chat, you are indeed invited tonight, just so he knew.
And I almost
Yeah.
missed it.
I was going to say before the show,
Gallivanting?
Jeff.
What were you doing? Yeah.
I was actually out driving to the store and back to get things that I shouldn't be eating late at night.
Ooh, like what?
Yeah.
Like what? What's your
Well,
munchies? What's your munchie go?
They were donuts.
Wow. What
What
kind?
type? Yeah.
They were strawberry,
Mm.
pink frosting.
I was gonna
yeah,
say this
no.
before the show, Jeff, but I thought I'd save it till we're on the air. I love your cosplay as Nick from Invisible Night School. It's great.
I don't know what that means.
I am kind of. I think we've actually. I think
You have the
he's
same
on the
shirt.
show.
Oh,
I think
You
he
guys
came
have
on
the
my
same
show
shirt.
when we were both
Buttons.
dressed like this.
Yeah. Okay, I get
I have
you.
one
get you.
button undone here too. All right, here we go.
Listen,
Now
Jeff,
you got to go on a
if
run
you-
about X-Files.
If you're
I
ever
was just looking
interested
through- sorry.
in running away to Mexico, I'll run away to Mexico with you. We'll get a boat. We'll live on the Mexican coast. We'll eat tacos. If that's ever an interest to you, and you
I
just
think
you want to give up
Jeff's
on life
girlfriend
with
will have a
me,
problem with that.
I want to live down in the Baja with
I'm just saying.
Jesse
one-
Ventura, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm just saying I speak pretty decent amount of Spanish. I think that we would be fine. I can order cerveza, y tacos, y carne asada, y queso. So like, I'm just saying if you want
Sorry
to
to
just
cut
give
the
up on
Spanish
life and go
lesson
live in
short.
Mexico, the offer is on the table indefinitely that we can go do that.
We also have a nondescript paper bag in the room.
I
What's in the paper bag?
appreciate
We don't
the
know.
offer, but I'm no longer allowed in the country of Mexico.
For real?
No, I just always want to say that like I was really cool. I would have kicked out of
I,
the country.
I go to Mexico like twice a year. I love Mexico.
Oh, for real?
Like, yes. So I'm
Oh.
a big fan of
I
Mexican
thought you were just
wine.
pulling someone of your. Look,
No,
You-
no, I'm being really serious. I love Mexican
I'm
wine.
flattered.
I go to wine country a lot in Mexico. So Mexican wine country is literally identical to Napa. Like the climate wise, when you drive out there, like you think you're in California. And then when they make their wine is like 27 to 39% alcohol, which is like unheard of. It's like basically an alcohol, which is why
That sounds like
wine in
booze.
the
Yeah.
States. Listen, you have one glass and you get fucked. It's great. I love it. I love Mexican wine. When I go there, I go to like every 7-Eleven. I buy all the wine I can find. Like I take as much as I can. I love that shit.
Holy
so,
cow!
like I said, very serious offer. If you ever want to run away to Mexico,
I'll keep that in
got my
mind.
passport.
I'll definitely keep that on the table. Of I have very few options, so now there's one thing on the table: run to Mexico with Jamie.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm down. But we're leaving
I'm
our cell phones
flattered.
here, and no one's tracking us. Like if we're doing it, we're dipping hard.
Well, you're gonna have to dig that weird thing the army injected into my butt out. So,
Listen, I feel like if we're in
I think
Mexico,
it's a
I'll be
tracking
spending a lot
device.
of time in your butt.
okay.
Okay, well, moving on.
You set yourself up for that one.
Hi, paper bag. Thank you for being here.
Oh,
Bonjour.
and Shane. Hi, Shane. I love your haircut. It looks great. I didn't know you joined the military.
Shane, let's talk about what's in your butt.
Yeah, Shane, do you ever
Let's
put anything
not
in your butt?
talk about what's in my butt. Okay.
Have any of you guys ever boofed before?
What's the face?
Plenty of times.
Boofing? It's when you soak a tampon in alcohol and then shove it up your butt.
Oh no, we're talking about a different thing type of
What?
movie.
Yeah, that's like
Oh.
what they do, like high schoolers do when they go to football games because they can't like openly drink.
What
high school were you going to?
Holy shit!
American
That's
high school.
fucking. We just
Okay,
sniff
but it's
pain.
different. It's
Are you
different
being
in Europe
serious?
because, like, I'm being dead serious. In Europe,
In your
it's
high
different
school,
'cause
you
y'all-
guys soaked
I
tampons.
didn't. I didn't.
In
I-
high
I
school,
mean-
people Shane would come to my house with KFC and wake me up with a lit joint. That's what happened in my
With KFC
Yeah.
too.
with KFC.
Compared to her tampon soaked in
I know
gasoline.
it's kind of clandestine, right? Like,
Listen, the
so
youth
I
are
have
wild.
a because I realized last time the bowl that I used was tiny, so I was like, I need to
Oh.
give some gravitas to this. So a shiny
colander.
a colander.
It's a fucking colander. That's no gravitas.
It's bigger and
Alright.
it's shiny. Give me a win.
And it also, you know, it's a lot like me. It has a lot of holes.
Hey.
Hey, spicy. All right.
Anybody got any last words before we delve in?
I'm
Jesus.
trying to think of an alcohol that sounds like vagina.
Mm,
There isn't one. All right.
isn't
Anyways,
one.
moving on.
Okay. Here we go.
I'll write that joke later.
Make one.
African nations unrest.
Oh, okay.
This is one added by Shane.
Oh, okay, perfect. Because I got no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
so
I didn't
Shane,
really know what you were talking about.
lay
so
it on us, and then we'll go from
we're
there.
all uninformed here.
So
just-
a couple of the Central African nations like Gambia and Niger. I have no idea whether I'm saying
You
these
mean
names
Gambia?
correctly. That's the one.
Gambia,
Yeah.
Nigeria.
But
Lagos.
I just saw it on the news. I don't pretend to be an expert, but they're from what
That's
I've
my
heard,
job.
from what I've heard, their militaries, like officers and generals and stuff, have couped. Obviously, one is a bit less recent than
the
Gambia. I
pigeons?
think Gambia was like today.
Mhm.
But
Cool.
it seems to be a pattern that Russian-speaking little green men are also in these countries whilst these coups are boogalooing. So, is there some East versus West politics going on at play? Or what?
Are
Nobody
you
knows.
implying that this is a proxy war, Shane?
Imagine.
So I don't know
think
anything
Susan might
about
have a problem
it.
with that.
I don't know anything about it, but it sounds like it's about time that it happens. Let the nations rise up from the people, and I hope the people are in power.
I mean,
What?
Is that generic enough? That works, right?
yeah.
Okay.
The
Unrest?
nations rise up from the people and let the people take. That doesn't make any sense.
No, like rise up against the nations. Let them rise up against the nations and let the people overtake whatever it is they want to overtake. Let the people
What?
have their way. Let them have their country back.
For only
I know,
$22.
So here- So like I do know so I don't necessarily know a lot about the African countries, but I know that a lot of countries that were under Queen Elizabeth are recently trying to like get away from that whole.
Oh
like,
yeah,
part of
that's
it.
like Australia and stuff like
Jamaica.
So I feel like
Yeah.
that's maybe part of it. Like we're just kind of I think at a time
Ooh, I wanna
in
take
like
you.
our history worldwide where like people are like with the internet and things like that, people are more their eyes are more open to like how leadership should be going on. And I think that more and more people with the vastness of the internet and information are realizing that they're in shitty situations and that they're taking things into their own hands. And I think that's just the circle of
I'd be
life.
inclined to agree with you if it wasn't the military side of the government. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not the people rising up; it's the aristocracy.
So here's the thing. I
Other
think that at the end of the day, all of these coups or rising up is happening from a genuine place. But I think like in any situation, you have nations and governments taking advantage of those things. And it also happens to us too. Like, when the people tried to rise up in Iran and stuff, we sent our military people there to go help them and things like that. So I think that that's like, it's not that we incited it. I mean, it's something that we wanted, but we didn't necessarily facilitate it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like our
Yeah.
hands were clean in the situation, but we had a lot to do with the situation. But you get what I'm saying? Like I think that happens in any scenario when you have anything like that happening. There's always going to be some bigger, better government out there that's going to go behind them and be like, well, yeah, I don't like that government too, so now I'm going to back you. So I think that that's just kind of that's the politics of globalism. I think
The
a little bit.
CIA has entered the chat.
The there's like a list of things you got to do to make it in the good graces of European countries to give like major assistance and stuff in many different ways: infrastructure, security, food, all that junk. And so a lot of countries never really get close to making it, and that's like where they'll like be popping off about that. They're like, oh well, we back out of this contract with France. It's like, well, you never really came close to making it there anyways, because most of these nations that we're talking about that sound like that we hear these things are all mostly warlord driven, and they're only ever a temporary government because they never really dispatched their old enemy. They take over this position and they preside in a position for like a little while, and then either they get
Someone
executed
else
or
comes up,
exile,
because they don't like them. Yeah, exactly.
and they get
kind
paid
of like
exile.
It's the cycle of those areas. It's like I feel like a lot of countries go in there being like, well, we're going to help them establish, their political system or whatever. But like, you're right. It just goes in these circles of like these people are the ones to overthrow the ones before, and then they just turn into as corrupt as the people before them in power, and then the new people rise up, and it's just like a constant cycle of like people taking power.
Right.
I learned all that from The Last King of Scotland, which I'm sure was extremely factual. So, all right, nailed it.
All right. Any other thoughts on it before our next topic then?
Nah, that's
I'm not for it. I'm against it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it brings to mind the stuff that happened in the 90s in Rwanda. Like, I hope it doesn't go that way, where it becomes like ethnic cleansing, and these situations have the potential to go sideways. When it sounds like it's already going sideways, but like, substantially sideways very quickly. So
I forgot about Rwanda. And I check out Rwanda on Rotten Tomatoes, 5 stars. On travel, no, that was going to be about on hotels.com. Terrible reviews. All right. Anyway, sorry.
All right. Give us the next one, Karkar.
Get that reference, anyone? Hotel Rwanda. Anyways, it
Don
was a
Cheadle
travesty,
is
folks.
judging you right now. Okay. Recommend a book for 3 minutes each.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I recommend The Thesaurus because some of you bitches need a better vocabulary, because I'm sick of your basic ass words and not understanding like better linguistics. And so I think that you should literally open up a dictionary and then also a thesaurus and then just like learn some shit, because everybody is uncultured and uneducated.
You think I know speak no good?
Yeah, I think speak no good. I'm tired of everyone using like abbreviations for everything.
Lol.
Like lol. Yeah, lol. I'm sick of it. I want people to use real English. And also, I think that they should teach cursive in school again. They don't teach cursive anymore.
What purpose does cursive have in a digital world?
I don't know. I just like writing in cursive.
The computers can't figure it out.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I just
Why don't
picked
you
that up
learn
right
how
now.
to do like doctor script, where like it? Can anyone read it? Really?
No one can ever read a doctor's handwriting. No. So those are the books that I recommend, because I don't read books. The only way I educate myself is by
TikTok.
Just absorbing knowledge from the universe. When I meditate, I just sit and everything just comes to me. It's like downloads. I do not consume any media
TikTok.
or
Come after downloads. What was that?
listen. Actually, low key, TikTok has taught me some hilarious things about stuff. So, like, okay, I didn't know. Like when you have pepper shaker and you try to shake it, the pepper doesn't come out. You're supposed to take the salt shaker and rub it on the back of it, and then it, blah, 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 it all comes out. TikTok taught me that.
We need an interlude.
Yes.
Oh, there was no. Never mind. There was no audio. Why did it not save any audio?
It's just you just made us look at a weird child.
Well, the audio
is a
is
no
funny because
children
he's screaming.
What was the subject?
I don't
It
know.
was
Oh,
recommend a book
book.
for 3 minutes.
Oh,
I just had
shit.
to cleanse it after that.
There's
Like,
my 3 minutes. So someone else recommend a book. Thesaurus.
Someone else go. I'm not gonna.
Horus Rising.
okay, go on then.
It's a Warhammer 40k book. It ties into what Jamie was saying. If you want to learn some big ass words but don't know what they mean but sound smart, read Warhammer. There you go.
I can agree with that.
That was 3 minutes somewhere. Next.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
I'm going to recommend American Prometheus by Kai Bird. It's the book that Oppenheimer was based on. It's like the long form autobiography and story of the creation of the nuclear weapon and Robert Oppenheimer's life. It's very, very good. It's the book that Chris Nolan adapted.
Very cool.
After reading.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's like 800 pages long.
What about you, Jeff? I feel like you would recommend Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Well, I was gonna go somewhere like that, but now I can't. So I think I'll actually go. I think if this is a real thing, I'd say that Norm Macdonald's book, the story of Norm Macdonald's life there, but the one he wrote, the factual one.
Ooh, okay.
That's
Is it called Norm Macdonald Had a Farm?
No.
Yeah. It should be. That was great. All right, Kari, give us the next topic because none of us are going to talk about books.
No. We're all
Wrong
uncultured
fucking
swine.
crowd.
What? You're uncultured. I'm not.
That's why I think we should read thesauruses because we're
Okay.
uncultured.
Old cars.
Oh, good God.
Old cars.
How
I'm
old
a
are we
Ford-
talking?
I'm a Ford lady myself.
I'm a Subaru
The oldest
person.
The oldest car I ever had was a 1989 Ford Bronco that was like maroon and white, and her name was Ruby, and I loved her. And she was the light of my life, and she was so easy to fix. All I ever had to do was look up videos on YouTube, and then like I could literally fix it. All the parts were nice and cheap and available, and I loved it. And then the only other old car I was ever in was like an old Oldsmobile that like a 90-year-old person had, and it was like one owner its whole life, and it was the cleanest motherfucking car I've ever been in my life. Like Jesus Christ, those motherfuckers take care of them cars.
Did the Bronco look like the OJ Bronco?
No, because it was maroon and white. So like there was.
I mean, like
white
just in
with a
terms of
maroon
like
stripe.
the actual car,
Yes.
not like the color.
Not exactly because the Bronco that.
Well, he was in a 93. He was in a
93 or 94, something like that. It was an early 90s one. And
Yeah,
so I
it was
believe the
93 or
body
94.
shape was a little bit square or a little more round. Like his was a little bit more round than mine. I believe
Right.
mine was a little bit more square.
Hey, thanks, Vanessa.
But I did have, thank you, Vanessa. I did have the bucket seats in it, like not
Right.
like a bench across it, and it was no like doors on the back, the bench seat on the back, and it was like maroon on the inside as well that matched the stripe, and I
Right.
loved that motherfucker. The one thing that I never fixed in it was the gas gauge was broken. Because I'd have to take the gas tank out in order to fix it, and that was just like beyond my scope of what to do. And so I had to manually keep track of how many miles I drove. And so I had a piece of paper, and I like just kind of estimated I'd get like 10 miles to the gallon. So I would like write down how much gas I would put in it, and then I would like redo the little manual like counter thing, and then I would drive for like however long I thought I could.
Wow, rough, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like. I don't know if you would class it as an old car. It's 28 years old.
Okay.
But it's the last completely mechanical Subaru, which is the 1995 Subaru Impreza WRX.
In pretzel.
It's the rally
Pretzel. We did not say that.
Basically, the rally version of the 95 Impreza. It was the last totally mechanical Subaru.
Impasta.
Impreza.
Pasta.
Impreza. But yeah, I would if I
Impasta
had
la
if I had all the
vista.
money in the world, that is like the one car that I would buy. Would be that car. Mainly
I'd get a
because
convertible Rabbit.
like you were saying about how easy it is to repair. I'd never have to. One wrong thing in a car these days, you have to send it off for like a month. Like a totally mechanical old car, you can just fix it.
everything
You can just
everything
fix
today
it
is
and,
like literally on a computer. They like plug their computer fucking into it, and then beep, 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 beep.
oh, you
So,
have
like,
a loose chassis screw in
so
your left wheel.
I think everyone knows now that like I work in like the logistics field, like in transportation. I'm like with semi trucks and stuff like that, and like that's one of the most frustrating things in the world is when I have a truck and it has a code that it's throwing, and I can't use anything to plug into it to see what the code is. It has to go to a fucking dealer. It's like a dealer code, and it's so fucking frustrating to have to find somewhere. Like some guy will be like broke down in Nebraska and will be like, "Can you find me somewhere I can plug this shit in so we can figure out what's wrong?" Like it is. I cannot stand that shit. It's so fucking annoying. But it's how they make money. That's how they make money.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, that explains how you're good at like open source Intel.
me.
Yeah, like you're good at like researching shit, and you'd have to be good at that to be able to find a dealership in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska, right?
Well, it's a lot of it's a lot of just doing things on the fly. Like people just call
Right.
me and they're like, "Here's my problem, solve it." So I think realistically, what it is I'm just a really good problem
Oh,
solver.
so you're like
And
Michael
that's what
Clayton,
makes me.
right?
I don't know who that is.
A fixer.
I'm uninformed.
It's a movie about a fixer.
Oh, like Olivia Pope.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well, I'm
There
going to
we go.
assume that we're both talking about the same thing.
sure.
And
Why
let's
not?
pivot to Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff. What about you and old cars?
I don't know. I think I started off with my first car was a Honda Prelude from 1986, and that's not that very old when I first had it, although it was old at the time, I guess. But my stepfather's always had hot rods, so my entire life I've had my ears blown out. Like every time I walk in the garage, it's like a car going off loud as hell. And so I kind of like the Japanese quieter car. And I was like, and so I decided to go with like older cars like that for a long time. I would get like Hondas, Preludes and Accords, and I mean not Accords. I would get Preludes and Civics and stuff, and I would like try to. Never mind. Anyways, yeah, I like
Oh my God,
older.
I could totally
Civic's a
see
good
you in
car.
like a little souped up Civic.
That was
sit
a
on
long
the
time
back.
ago.
Yeah,
Now I
Civic.
drive trucks, so everyone knows. I'm
What-
not really big.
What kind of truck is it? A Ford, a Chevy? What is it?
I have a super old truck right now. Not really super
but
old,
what
but
is
it's a Dodge.
Oh,
What do you
selling
keep in
it.
the back of the truck?
Is it a?
That's
is it
the
a dually?
what do you use the back of the truck for?
Making love.
Mostly, that'd be weird because I have like a cover on it. No, I mostly to move lumber, I suppose, and my smelly boxing stuff that doesn't want to go in the cab. Yeah.
It's a man's truck.
Extended cab, short cab.
That's what she said.
I will no longer give up any more information just in case someone's already trying to confirm my whereabouts.
Listen, I
We
could
have
probably.
them over.
I was like, I could probably figure out where you were if I really wanted to. Because
Anyone
our
can figure out
phones
where
are
I'm at.
everywhere.
There's an
But I
IP
feel like
address attached to my contact with the internet.
I feel like people really just underestimate the internet. Like it's literally sometimes as simple as like somebody like I see it on TikTok all the time. Like somebody will take a picture somewhere and it's in their backyard and then they like geolocate it. Like
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah.
so much information on the internet and like people have so many things. Like people literally if like you went to like somebody's Instagram and they were taking pictures in the front of their house or the back of their house, like you could probably find out where they fucking live so easy. Like
That's why
People
I
don't
only
realize
take
that
pictures
shit.
of my butthole. All right, sorry about that.
that's why I don't put pictures on the internet anymore.
We needed a break there. Sorry, I apologize.
What's the
I want to
internet?
know.
Shane, what about you? What's your love of old curs?
I don't even think any of you will know this. It's a proper Euro trash car, a Vauxhall Metro.
Dude, that's a throwback.
Yeah,
don't
it's
know what
a
that
it's
is.
a, it's a
Wow.
tiny like
Tiny.
3-door shitty little bagger, but it's got the
Is it like the
craziest-
MG Metro? Because I think that
Yeah,
the Vauxhall Metro came just after the MG.
yeah, it's got the
when Man
craziest
had an MG.
front wheel drive you'll ever see.
Right.
What's it called
in your
again?
life. Vauxhall Metro.
Sure, I've never heard
So
of
that's
Vauxhall Metro.
VAUX Hall. Vauxhall. Which I think is a really weird name. Who thought of that?
Metro. Metro's like which we call like the subway here.
It was only in production for I think
Oh.
6 months.
What's it
at
look
that
like?
thing.
Put it up on screen, Jeff.
Oh
Put it
no,
up
sorry. So it was before Vauxhall was called Vauxhall, so it's actually called an Austin Metro.
Austin Metro
That was
automatic.
Austin,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. It's an Austin
Yeah.
Metro.
It reminds me quite a bit of like kind of a Corrado or something by Volkswagen in the earlier
Right.
days and stuff. It looks
Yeah.
pretty cool. I love those cars because
It's got insane acceleration and it's really easy to steal.
Weighs nothing.
Weighs nothing. You can throw it around like English roads like it's
Yeah.
fucking a bullet, and it's insane.
Speaking
But
of roads,
how
over
many
there,
people have died in those kind of cars?
A lot.
on those roads? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fun to drive on roads over in
Yeah.
the UK and Ireland. They're just so small and windy. It's awesome. It's like
Mm.
you're on a racetrack everywhere. I know so many people everywhere you go want to soup up a little car like that.
It's great for bikers too. Like,
Yeah. There's a patch of road near here that's like a death trap. Like in my life, there's been like 50 people died on that road.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
Whoa.
The scariest road I was ever on is when I drove to Contact in the Desert. I was driving from Vegas to Joshua Tree, and instead of driving like around to LA and down to the Palm Spring area, I like took a route that was faster that just like went through the desert, and I thought it was going to be like more of a highway. And you guys, it was literally the Mojave Desert National Preserve. It was a 2-lane road that like hadn't been paved in 100 years. It was terrifying. You were so far from any actual like civilization, and I was terrified because there was a car following me, and I thought they were going to kill me, and I didn't have any cell phone service, and so I drove literally 110 miles an hour as fast as I could through it because it was like 200 miles of
So
just
that's how you
fucking
got there
nothing.
early.
That's how I got there so fast. Yeah.
Right.
That's how I got there so fast.
You were saying, oh, it would take me like 4 hours, and you got there in like 3, and I was like, how?
No, it's literally. So here's the thing. So you go down like a normal freeway, and then you just like take a random exit, and you like start to go into the desert. You're like, wait, what's happening? And then like I turned into it, and as I turned into it, there was like a bright blue Mustang, like not like a dark blue, like a bright neon blue Mustang, like parked on the side of the road. And as soon as I drove in, he did a U-turn and followed me, and that's what freaked me out. And literally as soon as he got behind me is when I looked at my phone and I didn't have service anymore. And I was like, this is going to be fun. For 200 miles.
Yeah.
Eventually, I did lose him. I don't remember when, at what point, but like I said, I literally drove like 110 miles an hour down that motherfucker, like scared out of my mind. Because I was just like, if I die, I can't even tell anyone I died. No one's gonna know where I'm at. Like,
you know
who's gonna look? I'm going to the LA area. Who's gonna look in the middle of the desert for me? Like, what the fuck? Like, it was, and I wasn't seeing any cars coming the opposite direction. I was like, no one's gonna find me. I did finally. Cars came the other direction, then I felt fine, but like there was a good like maybe 40 minutes where I was just like, I didn't like that.
I can relate to this, but I drove across the country a couple times in 2004, and it was like there was no McDonald's, rest stops everywhere. There was nothing like that at that point. I know that doesn't sound like that long ago, but on the western side of this country, we literally had like rest stops at the end of your gas tank usage. It would be like last gas for like 400 miles. Good luck.
Yeah.
Like that's how it was. And so it slowly, built up. There was one time I was in the middle of nowhere. I was running low on gas, and there was no one around me. There's no cell phone service basically anywhere already in the country unless you're near a city. I'm in a rest stop, and suddenly this trucker pulls up near me in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know. I think it was like in Utah or something, or Nevada. And the guy gets out, and my dog leaps out of my car, runs across the parking lot, and jumps up into his 18-wheeler. And I'm like, oh my god, like I'm gonna get right now. I'm gonna get my head chopped off in the middle of nowhere. Sure. Because I don't have a gun on me or anything. What's I gonna do? Like use karate on some dude twice my size? It doesn't make any sense. This is in the movies. And I walked over, and I'm thinking that this guy could get me, right? And first off, he's like a giant. He got out of this car like a giant. He's both wide and tall. Okay, and trucker wide. And he gets out of the car, and he looks down at me, and he sees that I'm coming up to get my dog, and he looked at me, and he literally was like, "Whoa, that's close enough, mister." Like he did just like that. He was like, no. He was like, rules of the road. Don't get any closer. This is weird. It's nighttime. Don't come anywhere near me, man. Don't come. I was like, I'm thinking this guy was going to murder me. Yeah. He was thinking I was going to go murder. I'm like, my dog's in his car. Now it's time to kill him. but it was like in the middle of nowhere. So once that happened, I got back in the car with like adrenaline for like 24 hours. It was like, nope. I'll just make sure I have like a fuel can with me. I'll never do that.
To where you were going.
It was
like,
nuts.
Fuck this shit. I'm driving.
Yeah,
oh my god, that's crazy. I feel like everyone has good road stories on a good like being somewhere like that.
Never use
I had a tire pop at like 65 miles an hour on the highway.
What was that like?
Did you handle it? Did you like keep your?
I wasn't the one driving, but it was pretty wild. I got a photo actually. Let me show you all. So we were driving south through just coming into Lancaster, California, driving south like on what's that main highway? Not the 101, the 4?
5?
5, yeah, the 5. So we're coming down the 5, and 1 second. So the tire had like a weird like bump on the side of it, and we were like, oh, that's not good.
Oh, like a protrusion almost?
Yeah.
Like can you continue to drive?
Well, we were in the middle of nowhere and have a choice.
Oh no. There wasn't a spare underneath that damn thing.
This was
No.
recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was in May. So this is the tire. Where's my camera?
Ooh, yeah.
So
But
But at least
you know,
it stayed on its rim and everything, so it didn't like fly
Right.
off or nothing. So that's good.
it was pretty wild though, because like we're
But it's
going
shredded.
along. Yeah, like is a video. Oh, of course, it's got to load. Here we go.
Yikes. Is
Yeah.
that when the village, the people, the hills have eyes people jumped out at you?
We were lucky we were in a somewhat populated place because we were like just coming in to the city kind of limits. The highway goes like right through the middle. Like, we're driving along and then there's just like, you know, and there's that split second of, oh my God, we're going to die. And then oh no, we're okay. It's just ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
So we do that for like 2 miles. We get off the highway. We stop at a stoplight, and people are like honking us and pointing, and we turn around like, we know, we fucking know. Like, how
Oh
could
my
we
God.
not notice this? So we park up like we find this place, like this auto shop, and we leave the car there. And we had like an interview to get to, so we had to get in the Uber, move all the gear into the Uber, get the Uber to Santa Clarita, do the interview, get back to the place. They had changed the tire, and then we had to drive from there all the way down to LAX to exchange the vehicle at Avis or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we had to drive all the way back up north. It was a time, but it was
an adventure.
It was an
It was an
adventure because like driving back that night, I remember we were on the edge of the Mojave, and you can see like hundreds and hundreds of these like of the windmills, but the red lights.
Yes.
So like you just see the like hundreds of red lights blinking. It just reminded me of Portal when you're in the dark and then all of the eyes on all the different GLaDOSes like light up. It was like that, and I was like, oh God, AI is real. It was like, oh my God, I've never seen so many red lights, and they look like they're right there, but they're like 50 miles away. It was pretty crazy. But that's one of my
mind
cool
is
stories.
tricky. The brain is weird. You be seeing all sorts of weird shit. All right, pull the next one.
Definitely optical illusions. Hard to see at night.
For
Yeah,
sure.
Right. Fuck, marry, or kill.
Whoa. Okay. So we have to fuck, marry, kill everyone on screen. I will go first because I already know my decision. I would obviously.
Can't we
marry
choose
Jeff.
someone else?
No.
Can't we please?
I would
What is
obviously
wrong with
marry
you people?
Jeff because he's the love of my life. I
Jesus
would
Christ.
fuck Kari because that sounds fun. And I told this to Shane earlier. I just don't know him that much, so I'd have to kill him.
It's fine.
Game on.
Yeah, maybe
Alright,
if we get
Shane.
to know each other more, I might change it. Maybe I'd kill
Nah,
Kari, but like I'm
we
for
can make it
sure
into some sort of
marrying
manhunt shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
All right, Shane, your turn.
your turn. Get it, Shane.
Marry Kari, I'd fuck Jeff, and I'd kill Jamie for the manhunt shit.
All right, Kari.
I'd have to marry Shane.
Wow.
I'd have to fuck Jamie, and I'd have to kill Jeff because
Wow,
there
you're
can be
gonna
only
kill
one.
Jeff like that?
I would.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right, Jeff.
Jeff.
You're silent.
He's muted. Or
Okay.
speechless.
I'm going to say what everyone wants to know.
Yeah, do it. Fuck, marry, kill.
Wait. Where is it?
Thank you, swing.
Now you can go.
All right.
Jamie, will you marry me?
Okay.
Okay.
muted, James.
She's speechless.
Yes, absolutely. 1000%.
Kari, get ready.
Oh shit.
Shane, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna kill Shane, but I'm gonna pretend and we're gonna fake a photo and then put ketchup on
Just
him.
make
and
him
then-
dig a grave.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that was a quick.
That
fire
was
round.
great.
That
That
was
was-
how
we
fast he
actually
should go.
put-
Boom, boom.
we-
Oh shit.
We put that in right before the show. That was a
Right.
brand new one. That
Yeah,
we...
that was a brand new. Okay.
Actually, I like this from Tony. He said, "Can I fuck Mary?" I love that.
Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries.
Wow. Oh wow, he just left me out of it totally. I just wasn't even an option.
Okay. Nipple piercings.
Oh,
What about them?
Well,
exactly.
exactly. I don't know if I would personally get them, but I've thought about it, and I'm like, what would be the utility? I don't know.
I don't want to
Utility.
get nipple piercings because I feel like they would get caught on things.
Right?
Yeah, they do.
You take your
So-
shirt off, you rip one out or something.
I worked as a piercer for a while, and they do get caught.
Yeah,
You were a piercer?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Whoa,
that.
You got stories, I bet.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like the Vegas of the UK. So I saw a lot of shit I didn't want to see.
Where? Where is this?
It's called Blackpool.
Blackpool?
Yeah.
Oh, I used to be called Lord of the Black Stool, but that's a different thing.
Hey.
Well, it's close to anyway.
Ulcers!
I don't like nipple piercings mostly because I like nipples and I just don't want all that metal in my mouth.
That's can we agree?
Yeah,
everyone-
that's
if you ran into them in out there in the wild, that is one thing that it's like, what's this weird flavor that goes along with this
Yeah,
guy?
But it's also
Oh,
like,
I'm not
what-
gonna.
Or if you chip a
Unless
tooth,
you have,
it's the
like-
worst.
Unless you have silicone ones, every time you go through an airport, you're like,
Just getting
yeah,
stopped.
yeah, it's like.
I'm just kidding. I've never seen.
I've seen nipple piercings and I've tasted nipple piercings, and I'm just like I said, I'm not into it. I'm actually not a big piercing fan in general. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I was into it, like when you're in your 20s and shit, like have fun. But
Yeah,
like then
same.
when you're an
And then-
adult, like
I
feel
took all mine
once
out
you have like a
because-
child, like take that fucking nose ring out.
Well,
Take
just-
your lip piercing out.
Yeah,
like
or like, so I worked as a bouncer after I was a piercer, and people kept going for my stretched ears and my piercings and shit. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. Out they come.
I forgot you had a nose ring.
I had a nose ring, I had smileys, and my smiley got taken. So
I had,
there's a-
I had lips
yeah.
pierced, my ears pierced up all the way.
Yeah.
I get it when you're young and rebellious, and it's like a thing to do.
yeah,
like
I
you
had
get
spider
tattoos
bites,
and you
I had 20
color
mil
your hair.
stretches.
Shane,
I
can I
get
ask
it.
you?
I miss my nose
Yeah,
ring.
sure.
Can I ask
I
you
think up until a
honestly?
point.
It must have been just one day, right? Like I've done security and stuff like that for a long time. How long did it take you? Because I feel like you would have noticed quickly. This is a bad
Oh, yeah.
idea to wear.
No,
things.
super quick, super quick. So they put me on the doors of a football match, which a soccer match, you guys would call it.
I
And
knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna.
they
It's not
fucking
football that you think.
immediate. Some guy had his whole like fingers in my ear, and he punched me. He had like a meaty sovereign ring, which is like this big chunky
Yeah.
gold ring with a coin in it. And as he hit me, I had like a piercing on my gum, top gum there, and it just
No.
ripped my mouth open. And I was like,
not.
never again. I took them
Yeah.
all out that night, and that was my first
Good
day.
for you. Good for you. Smart man.
I had to take all mine out when I worked in a restaurant, and I didn't get them back.
Yeah, see, this is why I work back of house in restaurants.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just got to a point where I was like, I am too old to have these things, and I took all of them out because I was like, I have to be an adult, and this is childlike. I just like
No,
I
a
don't
fu-
want to
a
see
funny
a
story
40-year-old
about
with
Shane
snake
just came
bites.
to
Like, I'm
mind.
just like,
Mhm.
tell it,
Thinking about restaurants.
tell it.
Oh, the 13 eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was getting screamed at by our boss, who's this
I
big,
worked with
burly Irish man who's just fucking screaming at me because
What the fuck are you doing, Shane?
I kept breaking eggs, and it took literally 2 whole trays of a dozen eggs for me to get an egg correct in the morning.
It was one of the greatest things I've ever heard, because I'm like just outside the kitchen doing napkins at the station, and all I hear is, "What the fuck, Shane? Can't you fry a fucking egg? Fucking hell!" It's like 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was funny.
Yeah.
24 eggs.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't-
Any
I don't know how
final
you-
thoughts? Any final thoughts on nipple piercings? I think that we all agree that we like natural. We're not into the nipple piercings here.
I mean, I'm not gonna judge if you do, but it's not for
Yeah,
me. I
if
don't
it's like
think,
that's your prerogative. Sure, it's just not for me.
Okay.
One time I
Next
dated someone who had a
topic.
dick piercing.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did one of those once, and I refused to do them again.
I'll never be able to bring the pain that people want that have things like that. I'll never be able to
To
bring
be
that much
fair-
pain to
Someone
them.
in school had one. I think it was Michael
Listen,
Beatty.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
this person's
Kept like
name, so
showing
I
it to
feel like
everybody.
listen, nobody knows who this person is, so no one's gonna know this story at all. But I feel like the reason, realistically, he had the dick piercing is because he didn't have the biggest dick in the world, and he was really fucking self-conscious about it. And the reason he had it is because like he thought it was like, you know, bringing more to the table or some shit. And I think that it did the opposite.
Did you think that like gravity was gonna make it longer? Or?
No, it's not that. I feel like it was just like he thought women
Blinging
would
up
enjoy
what
it.
you
I don't
got.
even
Yeah.
care. My
Like
dick's
making
small.
up,
That's
yeah.
why I got it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was like a yeah.
But
That was his psychology of it.
I don't get the psychology at all, though. It's like, hair, look at it
did.
even closer.
This is a weird one. Dated some great men in my life.
I put something shiny and eye grabbing.
All right,
Okay.
give us the next one, Kari.
We kind of already did this at the beginning. Mitch McConnell Stare Volume 2.
Oh, perfect. That's great. Get old men out of politics.
Right.
So
Well,
here's the thing. So this is the reason. So everybody's kind of concerned because it's very obvious that he's having these like little strokes. And people are all concerned because they're not like rushing him off stage and like rushing to get him medical attention. And I think what people are not understanding is that Mitch is having these all the time. Like these episodes, and it's
the
not
reaction
enough.
from his press secretary told me a lot.
Yeah. And so I did see that the little eye roll thing that he has going on where he's like looking up in one direction and stuff. And that's the symptom of the seizure. So he's having the stroke on the opposite side and it's pushing his vision somewhere. So this is something that's happening on a regular basis with him. He's having these little mini micro strokes. And I think it's time that he needs to retire. I think once you're literally stroking out constantly, like so much that people don't even like bat an eye at it or do anything, like you should not be in charge of anything. You need to go.
This is what we saw 100% evidence of. I apologize for stepping over you there. Isn't what we saw like 100% the evidence that everyone would need to see that these people retain power and their staffers will do anything like it's fucking what's that movie Weekend at Bernie's?
Yes, that's literally what I was gonna say. This is Weekend at Bernie's.
They got fucking glasses on them. And they got little sticks through his sleeves, and they're okay. Well, we got at least 6 more weeks of him being able to say yes or no to the whole party. Meanwhile, everyone in the party's like, "Oh my god, here they come wheeling him in."
No, that's literally what's happening. Like
it's
the
crazy.
Political power is so important in this country that's exactly what's happening. That instead of just like replacing it and putting somebody in who can like actually do something, they'd rather have him in that state because then at the end of the day, the political party is the one who is making his decisions about what he's voting for and not voting for, not him or his opinion.
And these little staffers and stuff all know each other really well when they're working with like individuals way high up like that. When they all consider themselves like as strong as the president, like
Well, some of them basically do, don't they? They feel like they are like the person in charge.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are behind the scenes who are pulling strings and stuff. Like realistically, a lot of people think that it's like, oh, I'm mad at President Biden. Like there's people pulling those strings and having him do the things that he's doing. And it's not necessarily like he's the figurehead at the end of the day for sure. But there's an entire institution behind a lot of these people who are actually making these decisions and stuff like that.
Look at the UAP money. That's something we can relate this damn show to. Look at the UAP money with the fact that, like, do you think that these Congress people and these senators actually were the ones that were like, I'm going to waste some public time in front of a camera talking about this?
No.
Or was it their staffers thinking, I might have scored here? We have like universal ways to get into the military complex. We can audit stuff. There's money to be made just out of the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. So like they literally conspired, and I swear to God, I don't know this to be true, but it just feels so obvious that someone like junior level staffer that has some control, has a few cell phones and a pretty big budget is able to accomplish, and a Twitter account is able to conspire with people like, I don't know, Corbell, Graves, and all these other folks to churn up money, and then suddenly they hand over this idea. And of course, maybe some senators are far more on it than others, and that's why they're talking about. But either way, it's just like you can tell that these are not 70 years in the office people being like, I want to talk about UFOs today.
Yeah, no, it's 100%.
What are you, some kind of conspiracy theorist?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa,
what's happening with my camera? Sorry.
It's 100. I know you were like strobing out. I think that it's sad that, the government, what people do, people just always have so much faith in our fucking government, and it just confuses the shit out of me, because at the end of the day, the government is not doing the things that it's right for its people. It's doing the things that is right for the people who are in power of the government at the time. Like, that's literally all it is. It's just them making giant moves to make their lives easier and better, and not about governing at all. And I think that you're right, Jeff. The whole UAP thing in the government right now is 1000% about money. 1000%. There's not anything it could be outside of that, other than them just trying to garner.
Stop.
Literally, it is. And I think you're right. I don't think it's these older people who have been, I don't think it's the Mitch McConnells of the world being like, let's talk about aliens. I think you're right. I think that there's so much influence now by the younger generation that there's somebody on staff somewhere who is locked into fucking stupid UFO Twitter and is like, oh, look at that. We got to take this route. Look what we could do with this kind of shit. And then that's exactly what's going on with it. And then you have this idea of like, we love America. We love our government. So our government's telling us UFOs are real. And that's the narrative that's put out there. But the reality of it is that the government has never ever said that it's like aliens ever. They've never actually, those words have never come out of their mouth in any way, shape, or form. Or like this shit with Avi Loeb that just came out, the thing where he's like, I found, alien metal from
that he went
bottom
and
of the ocean.
stole. He literally went down to an island and stole from
and
the
it gets better.
local government.
That's also not the first time. Like,
I know.
It's like it's so wild how people like spin things in these narratives to get attention and money thrown in a direction, and it's just like, bro,
Well,
what like it doesn't make any sense, the shit that's being said, and then the pictures make it
It's
even
just a
more
massive
like
racket, though, isn't it? Like,
and I think a lot of it too, on the side, like, it is money, and I think a lot of it too is also just distraction. I think that it's just like distracting from other things that are going on that we should be paying attention to, and we're distracted by these shiny UFOs and aliens and shit like that. And I think that, when the media is really digging in on the whole UFO stuff, or you're having UAP hearings, you should be doing the opposite. You shouldn't be watching it. You should be opening up your eyes to all the shit around you that's going on that they're trying to distract you from.
I think it's fair too that I just wanted to, in defense of Avi Loeb,
Do it.
I think that he did steal the stuff, but I do think that it was something like a bottle of alcohol and a couple bushels of maybe a special fruit from another island that one might have to offer in order to take from the sea there. And so when saying, yes, he did steal it, but there's people that will show up there, they'll be like, we've got 30 packs of cigarettes and whatever, and like the local chief to whatever they're near, or the person running the place is like, go ahead. So it's like, so if someone gets a deal like that, but I do agree that he shouldn't have went over there just taking it. But let's be real though, they are lesser and weaker people because we have more power than them. So that's how it goes in the world, I suppose.
You want.
Well, that's a clippable moment right there.
Listen, I just love all of the scientists because, like Kari says, I get all my information from TikTok. There's a lot of scientists on TikTok who are ripping Abby Loeb apart.
China
like,
loves you, Jamie.
Sir, like, I don't care. They can have my data. I'm not fucking doing anything. Like, what do they want?
They want your mind. That's the point.
My 8 cents in my bank
Johnny
account. I don't
good.
give a shit.
Get out.
All right, pull the next one, Car.
China bad.
oh, sleepy boy.
Song recommendation.
Ooh, song recommendation. I recommend.
It's not fair unless you can listen to him now. I mean, that's just
I
so
know,
cool
that's
if you
what
just
is
like
so
turn
upsetting.
it up.
What's
Me and
Jamie's
Kari have a
idea?
show
So
for that.
We do.
I'm going to recommend anything by 3 Days Grace.
Wow, that's a throwback.
Yeah, there you go. That's my 3 Days Grace. Anything, pick one.
Someone else could have, not me.
All right, Kari.
I can't. I always get 3 Days Grace and 3 Doors Down mixed up.
3 Doors Down was the very first concert I ever went to in San Francisco.
Huh. Okay, I'm gonna. I know a song. Dear Jamie by Hello Goodbye.
Oh, thank you. It's about me.
No, but it just came to mind.
Oakland by Childish Gambino is about me, but that's a story for a different day.
Actually,
Shane?
legit is about you? Or...
We'll talk about it later.
Anything by Poor Man's Poison. Because they need more love.
know who that is, but I will go look now.
Oh, I got one that's a throwback for Shane.
Ooh, okay.
Amazing Grace by Flatfoot 56.
Yeah, that's fucking sick.
Because that band is why me and Shane know each other.
Okay. All right, Jeff.
You saved my
It's quite a
butt.
telling story.
Did you finish clicking to find?
Should we tell the story of how me and Shane met through that band?
All right, do it.
So,
Jeff has more time to Google.
Oh, I'm not. I'm trying to. Sorry, answer something. I have an answer right now. If anyone would like to hear.
Yes, I do.
Go
Tell
for
me.
No. I would honestly go with John Prine. John Prine. Clay Pigeons.
Not heard it.
No one's done it. You should spin it up. Let's go. Let's play it.
We can't.
I wish we get fucking copywritten.
But you should come to our Taiwaba versus the internet where we can
Jeff,
do
if you're
things.
if you're a big internet person on Twitch and on Twitter, we do a show where we watch music videos because we don't get copywritten.
What's a big internet person?
You can do that whenever you want.
That's a good question, Jeff.
I always imagined myself to be quite large on the internet.
Like,
In real life, not
It's
so
just
tall.
the field of view of the camera.
Yeah.
I'd love to
All
come.
right, Kari, tell the story.
So,
You all know that song, by the way.
Let me set the scene and then you can tell your perspective. So, it's like 7th grade. Kid in my year that I went primary school with, who I was kind of sort of friends with in primary school. He came from like a really sad background, like his mom was a heroin addict and stuff. And when we got into secondary school, he like changed. He started hanging out with like the gangs or whatever you want to call them. And yeah, so there was a place in town called the Courtyard where they'd have like local gigs, and like they had a band from Boston that were like pop punk but with bagpipes called Flatfoot 56. So like this Christian band. And they came and played, and it was really rare that we ever had like an American band in town. So I went down to this show, and then I'll let Shane take over from there.
Well, the person who Kari referenced was a friend of mine. Like, I was in the gang.
I didn't know Shane at all at this point.
Yeah, so
I was 11.
in
I was 11
the
years
gangs. And I was always into pop punk and punk metal and blah, blah, blah. So I took a bunch of wannabe gangsters, English wannabe gangsters, to a metal show, which
11 and 12-year-old wannabe gangsters.
Yes, which turned out as well as it could be predicted.
Yeah.
One of the dudes singled out Kari, was just giving Kari a major hard time, throwing blows
Punching
to the
me
back of the
yeah,
head
punching me in the
and
back
shit
of
like that. And then like throughout the night, I was like, right, this isn't cool. Kept telling my friend, look, stop your bullshit, otherwise this isn't. I'm not going to tolerate this. Anyway, got to about the 4th blow that got thrown to Kari's head, and I was like, right, fuck this. So I just fucked the guy up in the middle of the show, and then
I remember you punched him like loads and pushed him into the
pit,
pit
and then like as a wall of death, like a mosh pit began. I like threw the guy into the mosh pit, and I was like, well, fuck that guy, I'm gonna come hang out with you. And then Kari and friends ever since.
I have really one of my favorite memories of that night is doing the fucking can to Amazing Grace in a massive circle. We're all doing the can. It was like probably the only time that's ever happened in that venue. And like I've been to some crazy shows in that venue. Like I've been thrown at the ceiling and shit at crowd surfing, but like distinct memory is one of the first shows I've ever been to there. And you've got like 100 people, a lot of them like I kind of knew from town and stuff, all in a circle doing the can to Amazing Grace with bagpipes but pop punk. It was like this crazy fusion of all these things, and I'll always remember it. And that memory is only possible because Shane saved my ass. Because I was like,
I grew up at a time where ska was really popular. I lived near San Francisco, and so like our town, I swear to God, we had like an outdoor amphitheater. There was always some weird ska band there with no shoes on and their goddamn horns, like every fucking day.
Someone on stage dancing alongside of them, like they're playing.
Yeah,
the instrument is dance.
Tambourine, fucking, it was wild. Like that's 100% what my town was like.
That's just reminded me of a story. I went to see Real Big Fish in Oxford, and on the way back from the show, I was walking literally like outside my house, and there was an earthquake, and it was like we never get earthquakes. So I'm there, everything starts shaking. I lay in the middle of the ground, on the middle of the street, like on my back, just feeling the earth, like because like it never happens here. And yeah, apparently it was like a 4 point something up near Manchester, but like the whole country shook. It was crazy. I remember seeing footage of like they were shooting scenes for Coronation Street, and in the middle of the scene, everything starts shaking, and it was like an outtake. But I was like, oh, I remember that from at the time being like, oh shit, like that was everywhere because those studios are like 100 miles from me. So like the whole country shit, yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, it was right after Real Big Fish. You just reminded me.
I love that.
Sell out with me. Oh yeah.
All right, Kari, why don't you pull one last topic and then we'll get out of here.
Well, has it been an hour already?
It's been an hour already.
I've been really praying that 9/11 comes out. No, seriously.
A holiday?
France. This is an old one from the France riots. Should we do a different one?
Yeah, do a different one. I don't care about France now. I don't give a shit.
I wouldn't go to France. Because France is no longer France. Bill Hicks.
I have no idea who this is.
I don't know who that is either.
What?
Bill Hicks is an American comedian who's deceased.
He's like the greatest comedian that's ever lived.
That guy. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
No idea.
Okay.
I disagree with Kari, but whatever. Everyone's opinion.
He's a good.
You know you're a Norm fan.
I wouldn't say he's the greatest. But he's a good.
I was like, okay, so the
he's
greatest
like
comedian of all time is very clearly me, and
I have a
I
copy
don't know why
of
any of you would think any different.
every routine and every letter.
Oh, so you put
stuff
this in there?
I did because I fucking love Bill Hicks.
Oh
Wow. Yeah, no idea.
He's does that. It's just a riot speech. You never heard that?
Next.
All right, fine.
Yeah, do a different one. That's trash.
I can't believe
Right.
none of you like me and Jeff are the only cultured people here.
I fucking remembered.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, final one.
Okay, make it good.
And yeah, Robin Williams. I would agree.
Hollywood being corrupt. Ooh, I got
Ooh.
stories.
Ooh, Hollywood is corrupt. Listen, all I have
Isn't
to say is
everything
my biggest advice to people is that if you really, really, truly love and enjoy consuming something entertainment wise, don't ever get involved with it and go behind the scenes and see what it's like, how to, make the pasta per se.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
it's so I think just a lot of people like if you really truly like the saying that they have like don't meet your heroes, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
That was true this year for sure.
Yeah. There's just if you really truly enjoy something and you want to keep it dear, don't dig into it too much and just enjoy it, because the more you dig into things, the more you will realize, and I'm not trying to pigeonhole this into a certain subject. I'm talking about just in general with all of Hollywood. Movie making, music making, all of it, behind the scenes of all of it is just not what people think it is at the end of the day. Everything in Hollywood is about making deals and getting connections and who can connect you to who and what you can get out of this person and what that person can get out of you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think
they say one thing to you, but then
something to someone else. For sure, absolutely, yeah. But that's
I've
just
seen
that's
it
the name
happen.
of
I've
the
had
game.
it happen to me, so I know this shit happens.
Yeah, so like I said, it's just like if you love and you want to consume something and you want to keep it that way, then keep it that way. Because once you start to rip the Band-Aid off of things, it's really not the entertainment world and Hollywood itself is not fantastic. None of it.
No,
it is
vapid
very grueling and vapid. Yeah.
People in that sphere will take and take and take as much as they can without asking, and then discard you when you are no longer of use to them, even if it was your thing to begin with. So that's just how it be.
No, exactly.
That's why I'd rather work on my own shit.
Yeah. What about you, Shane?
I have no first-hand experience really. I've worked in some of security for some of Hollywood stuff, but again, I've never not got close enough. I just know that a rotten apple when I see one, so I don't go near it.
What about you, Jeff?
Well,
I know you have experience in TV or something, Jeff, don't you?
Yeah, I used to work in TV. There's a bunch of douchebags working there. No, there's some good people. But it's nepotism is how you get around big time. But nepotism is insane in television. And I worked like Shane just kind of mentioned. On film, I worked in production as security for some people, and I saw just how ridiculous it was They were like gods walking around to these people, and to me, it was just like, this is a never mind. It was just a bunch of bullshit, and like I could just tell it wasn't for me, no matter what. And I didn't want to move into film at all, so I just worked. I worked in television, and it was like a scaled down version. But it was like, listen, when I worked in TV, there was no union whatsoever, and if you spoke about unions at any company, you would be blacklisted across all of New York. All right, so if you even brought up the word, you know, someone would put your name out there, and like, and oftentimes, like, there's a puppy, by the way, trying to like burst its way into this little area. Come on, buddy.
I love it.
Show us the quadruped.
Show us the dog.
It's a year old, but he's basically a puppy in his mind.
Yeah.
Cash, come here. Cash.
Dog.
His name's Cash.
Cash and Cora.
Oh,
Come here.
Nice.
Can you see his face?
Oh yeah.
I know.
Oh,
Black Cloud.
hi, baby.
cute.
Dog.
Look at this
Oh,
thing.
big dopey baby.
I wish you could see his puppy dog eyes. Are
No,
ridiculous.
you must play with me, Dad. I don't care.
Green screened. I love it.
Mine is flat.
I wish I had a
out.
green
Not my
screen.
need.
I'm not gonna
But yeah, but
Um,
you know firsthand how toxic all this shit is, and it's all
Yeah.
like you said, it's
Yeah.
nepotism. It's about knowing people. It's about like making these little deals with people. Like it's wild what goes on behind the scenes.
If I was to describe my first-hand experience publicly, truly the way it actually was, the way I do to describe it with my friends, I think people would be shocked by the way I talk, to be honest with you, because it's super predatorial. Predatorial. Is that the word?
That's
Yeah,
the word.
that's- yeah.
That's actually that's a really good way to describe it.
And
Yeah, for sure.
and I had some pretty weird experiences, and I'm not even kidding. Like the way I said, I literally started to dress different in all types of things to. Oh my! I don't know how to say this.
No, I can
not
relate
leave
to
you
that.
alone.
I had
not
to
be a not be
I
a,
had to
a dick to
not
me.
dress how I know. You know, I didn't get to wear like normal things.
Yes,
I had to dress a certain way in order to facilitate. I mean, I get it. Like we were trying to set a tone, and I got it. But like there was this, you can't be you. You have to be a thing because that's what's expected of you. And I was not my thing. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole organization is pretty wild. But
I'm unashamedly authentic, and I won't suffer for it.
I, as a white woman, had dreadlocks and did a documentary. So you know,
Yep.
we're all
The
just out here
appropriations for the
surviving.
world to see. You know.
Yeah. That's like, you know, national on Tubi.
Right.
Probably like millions of people watched it, and that's just me on TV.
Indeed. Should we do
Listen,
one final
like I
topic?
said,
one final
no.
topic. Oh,
Yeah,
no?
let's do
Okay,
one
let's
more.
go.
All right. No. Let's
All
do
right.
one more. We'll do one more. That's fine.
Oh, do one.
Listen to John Prine, Clay Pigeons.
Separation of church and state. I kind of wish Nicole was here for this one
Ooh.
because I think that was her idea.
I think I will repeat this, and I say this on the internet all the time, and if people hate me for it, I don't care. I do not believe in religion. I think religion is stupid. I believe in spirituality. You could be as spiritual as you want, but I believe religions are cults, all of them. All religions at the end of the day boil down to the exact same 5 principles. I think that religion is the root of all evil and all war. And I think that people who are super, super into religion are really, really dumb people who don't have their own opinions and have to follow something in order to have meaning for their life. And I think that it's really sad when they're so wrapped up that the only thing they could do is their religion. I feel like that's some of the weakest, sad-minded people.
So, in lieu of that, do you believe there is a separation between church and state?
I believe there should be, but I believe that there is not. I believe that almost every country in the world realistically has a dominating religion that they preside over. America has Christianity. Some of them have Muslims. You guys have whatever religion the fucking queens are and the king is or whatever. Like, so I think that
I'd say the UK is more of a.
It used to be in the past 50 years. We've lost our like religiosity.
I think like even in America it's getting less and less, but the reality of it is the people who founded a lot of the nations that are out there had like religion was a thing back then because there was nothing else. You know what I mean? So I think that unfortunately it's written into the way all of everybody's laws and rules and stuff are. So I think that it's hard to have that exact separation of church and state.
I don't think it's going away in America because there's the Coe family, and the Coe family, like elite conservative Christian family that do the leadership breakfast dinner and stuff. It's the people who it's just a lobbying thing. It's basically religious lobbyists, and they're like the tippy top of. It's kind of like what the Mormons do.
Mormons,
in
that's
Utah,
the first thing that came to mind. Yeah,
right.
Mormons.
It's the same kind of structure in that they're heavily lobbying and grooming candidates, and there's pretty much not a president that hasn't had to ingratiate themselves to the Coe family. And this isn't ever publicized. It's not something that's ever on the campaign trail, but this is something you have to do if you want to function in Washington, D.C.
Also,
as a
point
administration.
of personal privilege, religious factions who are tax exempt are not allowed to participate in politics. So if you see a church participating in politics in any way, report them to the fucking IRS.
Looking at you, Scientology.
Report them. Yes,
I just want to say, I declare out loud so everyone can hear me. I disagree with these people. Jesus, strike them down.
I'm waiting. Come at me. Come at me, bro.
Ooh, we have the moral high
Taste
ground.
me, bro.
Listen, all I'm saying is that we'll see. We'll see. That's it. That's all. That's just what I'm mimicking whenever I see super Christian people say.
Super Christian people say, yeah.
Hey, I left you a present in your truck bed.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Never mind. Shane, any thoughts on separation of church and state?
I mean, it's a hard sell. I think we need the separation of states in total in order to get the separation of church. Like anything short of post-apocalyptic, even then probably won't give us that because humans are sheep.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ironic that in order to outlaw lobbying, you'd have to lobby for it.
Shane, what exactly is post-apocalyptic?
Post-apocalyptic.
I think that in maybe 100 years from now, religion will be a lot less predominant than it is now. Like, I think that it'll start to die down in like 100 years from now. But I think we got about 100 more years of it being ingrained.
People will worship machines. People will start worshiping machines and stuff.
Either it will become some kind of digital god, or religions will become more like conspiracy theories.
Wait, so is that not like the TV show, like the American one, where it was like the old gods became new gods?
Oh, American gods.
I need
American gods or whatever. It's that idea of like you create the god that it is that you're worshiping, right?
Exactly
We talk about this a lot on Bobby.
It's like an ego
like creating tulpas. Like you're believing it's real, so therefore it's real, and that's how these things survive. Is if you don't keep like believing in it, then it's not going to be around anymore, and that's the whole thing about the show. That's the whole thing about the show is like the old gods are trying to make sure that they still stay relevant in the age of the new gods. And so there's like a battle going on between them. And I feel like that's something that's incredibly possible, especially if we live in a simulation or, you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many possibilities, especially if we live in a simulation. If our thoughts can create our reality inside of our simulation, then of course we're creating gods and the devil and all sorts of fucking wild shit.
Right.
I think real quick, on to get a serious note there, that the closer we get to if you think that first off, one thing is I think we so seriously overestimate what science is going to offer in terms of enticing people away from religion. They won't do it. They've never been really good at it. Albert Einstein is like the last great example of making people understand a great theory, a complicated theory. And so you have you basically have no chance that science can lure anyone away. And if people get less enticed to go to a church, they just become like quasi spiritual, their own type of religion mixture thing. So in one way or another, they might not be donating some large organization that's corrupt or something, but they definitely are not necessarily, they're not going to go to some place that offers no comfort. which is one thing that I think is in part ingrained in the human brain is
I think
seeking comfort.
But I think
I
that's
think
the
another
difference
places
between
do.
spirituality and religion, though, and that's what I mean. It's like religion is the more institution. You so church, you have the rules. Where
But
spirituality,
spirituality's become an institutionalized thing because we've got so many of these people
no,
that
it
are
totally has. But I think that when I think of spirituality, I think this like you believe in things and you believe that there's probably laws of the universe.
is
But
why-
there's not a book in front of me that like tells me what I can and cannot fucking
This is
do.
why I don't think religion will ever go away, because I'm of the firm belief that if you value something more than people in your immediate vicinity, like your family and yourself, anything that has an immediate effect on you, but you deify that person, say like all the people that deify Trump and Elon and all this shit,
Yes.
then
Yeah.
you are literally kind of feeding into the same zeitgeist that feeds religion, because you are putting you're deifying somebody. If people come across the MAGA hats and all of the scriptures of Trump, they would have thought he was a god. And if people in 1,000 years dug up all of the fucking Trump shit, like they'll be like, oh, this is a
then
god.
also-
They must have.
No.
But I also think that
No.
with the Trump thing, that makes sense then of you have all of these people who are like building him up to be this thing that he isn't. And that's why he keeps like popping up and coming back. And like, you know what I mean? Like that's realistically, you have a bunch of people who believe that he is supposed to be in that position. And so they've willed him into that position.
But it's the point. I don't think it will ever go away. I think people
No, I agree with you. I
always
don't think
look for
religion
it.
will ever go away. No, I
No.
agree with you. I think that we can't just be satisfied with ourselves as humans. We have to think of like, something.
Well,
in charge
there's
us
a
at all
part of our
times.
brain that is evolved to believe in a higher power. So
Yeah. Go ahead, Jeff, because you're bursting at the seams.
Well, it's past now, but I was gonna say
Oh.
no. I don't agree. Trump.
Oh, you're gonna
down
you're
these
gonna
people.
Yeah, I get you.
It's a terrible joke.
It's all right. All right, you guys. Any final thoughts before we get out of here for the night, you guys? My final thought is if you don't eat pussy, you're a bitch.
I'm going to second that, and also see you all on Tuesday for the Beast of Busco.
No.
There's another
It
Beast of
is-
Busco? What is it?
No, it is the Devil's Lake Monster.
Devil's Lake Monster for Bobby's
Hey.
Cryptic Corner.
If you're not a boy kisser, you're not cool.
Don't eat
Shane?
yellow snow.
I said if you're not a boy kisser, you're not cool. That's my
A
part.
boy kisser?
Yeah.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you a
all
boy
right.
kisser?
Mm.
No.
Okay.
that
That
vibe.
explains a
Jeff?
few things.
And my final words are, since I am literally the final word, so no one's
Yeah,
gonna
you're
hear
the final
anyone else
words.
talk after me, right?
No.
Anyone
Kari
who
will
does
hit the button
anything
after.
sexual at all is going to hell.
Like, ooh, we have the moral high ground.
All right. Well, that concludes this episode of Uninformed. Thank you all for being here.
Bye, everybody.
So I've got a short clip to end the show.
Oh, God. Here
So-
we go.
Right. Say bye.
Bonjour.
Bye.
Tell by the way I awkward walk, I'm gonna shit my pants, there's no time to talk. I fuck came out, yeah, it was funny, and I'm standing there, but my butt feels muddy, and it's alright, it's okay. Please step out my fucking way.